Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. And I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And today's video is really exciting because today I'm going to be sharing with you my personal Notion template that I use for my business and something that actually works. It actually helps me because I am somebody who is not good at task management, time management, to-do lists, organization, planning, anything like that, you know, all the stuff that typically is really good for when you are running a business. But I have just been getting by with my craziness going on in my head and then just kind of, you know, getting overwhelmed every other week of everything that I have going on or want to do, but I just can't seem to get it done. So that has always been a struggle for me. And I know there's also other people who may also have that struggle, but also other people who may just be wanting to have some kind of digital planner of some kind to use for your handmade business. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be jumping onto Notion. I'm going to have you look at kind of a day in the life kind of situation. I don't know, that's the first thing that came to mind. Not really day in the life, but more of just kind of an inside look into how I go about my day-to-day, how I plan for my business now, how I organize things, how I actually do to-do lists, and why it works for me so much more than paper planners or any other kind of digital planners that I used to use in the past. There was a good time there, I want to say it was a little over a year ago, where I was using a paper planner and I tried my best to really make it work. And I did use it for a couple of months, but then I fell off of it. With Notion, I feel like I've been using Notion for over a year, but I've been slowly figuring out how to make this dashboard in a way that really works for me. And then also, if you're wondering what is Notion, Notion is basically just like an online productivity planner, task management, online web software kind of thing. You can also use it on an app, which is really nice that they have an app, because whenever I have something that pops up in my head, I'm able to go on an app on my phone, which is something that I didn't like about having a paper planner. When I have an idea, I have an idea, or I have a thought and I need to get it out before I forget it. So I need to make sure that I am getting it down the second it comes into my head. So being able to have it on an app, Notion can be an app, and it just makes it so much easier to have it there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to jump onto Notion. So this is kind of, it's not my exact Notion dashboard, and the reason behind that is just because I know I share a lot on my channel, but there were certain things that I'm like, I don't really want to be sharing every little task that I do or every little plan or every little project that I'm working on. So I decided to duplicate it and then basically do kind of like a template version of it. And it's just to show you how I have everything set up on here. So when you get a Notion account, all of this is completely blank. So all of this was just created to be formatted in a way to personally help me. So I have like my navigation menu, and then right over here I have my morning routine. So it's just something that I have on here that I can always look at and just be reminded of what I need to do first thing in the morning. And then down here, this is how I have everything set up. So I really love these little toggles. These little toggles have made a huge difference in my actual business planner. And the reason behind that is because a lot of times on my old planners, having to see everything all at once was extremely overwhelming for me. So being able to essentially just toggle down what you need to be looking at for that day makes all the difference for me. So for instance, it's just very simplistic. Notion can get really complicated and have a lot of different moving parts to it, but I try to make it as simple as possible. And so these little toggles down here, this is basically just showing kind of what I have to do for that day. So there actual are to-do list, and then you can check it off, uncheck it. And these are things that I've already done for today. Obviously, I'm doing this one right here. And then I have up here, this is my task list that's uncategorized. So another thing that I did not like at all about paper planners, or even some other digital planners that I worked with, is I just didn't like having to make a decision on what I was doing for a certain day and having it be kind of stagnant on that day, like it's set in stone, or otherwise I have to cross it out or white it out, and I didn't want to have to do that on a paper planner. So sometimes what I'll do, actually the majority of time of what I'll do, is I'll just write down a list of all of the things that I know I want to get done relatively soon, probably within, the next week. And then what you're able to do is you're actually able to drag and drop it into whichever day you want to complete that task. And if, for instance, there's a task that you didn't get done for a certain day, I can move it around to a different day and be able to, have that flexibility. That is definitely something that drove me crazy about not having the flexibility. So being able to drag and drop it around just makes all the difference. And also being able to only look at one day at a time also has made a huge difference for me as well, because if all of these were to be open at once and they were all filled with all of these tasks I had to get done, I would get completely distracted on, oh my gosh, yes, I have to be prepared for that, and I have to be, maybe I could just do that right now, and that's something that oh yeah, I had to get it done on Friday, but it's Monday, and maybe I'll just do it right now. So I didn't need that distraction. So being able to just close these up to my liking makes a huge difference. So again, this is just kind of like a pretend template that I have here. So on here, I also have some business goals. So these are all just kind of, things that I threw on here. And these are just goals that you could put for the year and also month by month. So I have them listed out month by month and going through and just putting some goals that you have for each month of the year. And then also some business projects I would be working on. Again, these are just things that I threw on here just as an example. And then I also have my content calendar. Now this is something that is super important and something that, again, I've been wanting to be really good at, but I just wasn't able to figure out a way that made a lot of sense for me. And this makes a lot of sense for me personally. So what this is, and this is just a weekly view. You can go to a monthly view, but I personally like to just look at things week by week, preferably just day by day of what's happening right now. And so I have all of these posts and they're all categorized. So I have a YouTube category, Instagram stories, Instagram post, email marketing, and that is basically just categorizing all of these different content ideas and things that I want to post online or write about if it's an email marketing that I'm going to be talking about online. So for instance, for today, I had to promote the Evermore candles that I got listed for a couple different scents. It's kind of like a limited edition. And I put that it's for my Instagram story. I marked it as completed. And then you can also put in some information in here too. So if you have pictures or kind of different notes that you want to write on about that certain thing that you have to get done, you can. So I have all of these on here. And this is, of course, for today's YouTube channel. This is just an idea, but technically I can change it to in progress because we're in progress right now. So this is how I now figure out what I'm going to be posting, and then what I can do once I figure out kind of on a Sunday or a Monday for the week of what I'm going to get done for content-wise for that week. I am then able to look at what needs to get posted and done, and then I can go back on those certain days and then add that in as a to-do for that day. And then real fast, I'll just show you what I have over here. So again, this is just as an example, so I'm not giving away all of, information on this. But I have a section for vendor events as well as wholesale distributors. So for vendor events, I put on here, because you can get kind of confused when you're applying to a lot of different events. So I have on here basically just going over events that you're interested in, that I've applied to, accepted into, and especially ones that I've already paid for. So as soon as I've paid for one, I'll go on and actually mark it as paid. And then I also have on my desktop a separate area where I keep all of the receipts for all of them just in case. And then down here, which I think is extremely important to keep track of, is your income that you make at the market. So I'll put the booth fee and then the gross revenue, and then I like to separate it by how much I made in cash, Venmo, and card, because those are the 3 payment options that I personally take. And then also how busy it was, because sometimes you can forget, especially if you do a lot of markets, you can forget how busy it actually was at that event and if it was worth it or not. So I just have on here how busy. So I have a high turnout, moderate, or a slow turnout. And then I'm able to just categorize it like that. And then I have everything just kind of all organized in one area instead of just in a note section on my phone, which is what I've been doing the whole time. And then I also have a section on here for wholesale distributors, so I can just keep track of my distributors, whether or not they're a wholesale client or a private label client. And then I can also upload the contract as well on there, just a wholesale contract that they signed. And then also any outstanding wholesale orders that have to be filled and that are ongoing that I can just look at. And then I also want to show you this part right here. So this is something that has been really, really helpful. This is just basically like, I didn't coin the term, I've heard this many times, but it's like a brain dump section. And this is just used to get out any kind of ideas that you have going on in your head. Hence the, I have an idea in the moment, I need to write it down. So instead of just putting it in as a new note in my phone and having it get lost, I can just go to the idea journal section of my Notion app and then just type it in there and just kind of get it out. And one thing that I found that's really, really, really helpful, and Chris actually helped me with this because again, we're kind of complete opposites, which works really well because I'm somebody who's not good at organizing. I can't say I can't. I'm not very good at prioritizing, task management, and all that. He is very, very good at that. We have done over, I don't know how many markets now, probably close to 20 markets. I know the setting up process, but I'm still just like, tell me what to do now. Tell me where to put this. Do you want to start this now? Like, I know what to do, but also he knows what to do better and what's going to get us set up faster and just kind of, he knows the process of what to do. So I'm definitely can be somebody who's like in a lot of situations, like just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So he helped me, let me go to new on here. So he helped me with this. So basically what he had suggested to me, because I'm like, sometimes I feel like I have so many ideas and I don't know what to do first. So he told me just take a moment and write out all of your ideas. So I'm just going to take a moment and just write in different ideas. And of course, this can be actually something that you write out your ideas, but this is just as an example. And then he said, now categorize them by things that you can get done in a day, things that you can get done in a couple weeks, and things that you can get done, in a month or two. So basically see what is going to take you the longest to get done. And if any of you follow Dave Ramsey and know the baby steps of Dave Ramsey, it's kind of like Dave Ramseying your ideas and the things that you have to get done. So basically you start off with the things that you can get done, let's say in an hour or two, or even just a day of working on it and getting that done. And then it's out of the way and then you're able to move on to the next thing. So this is something that really has helped me. And then you're able to kind of go in. So let me show you on here. I kind of started that a little fast. So if you go to these dots right here and you hover over color, and then you scroll down. I like to color code it by green, yellow, and red. So green is what I can get done in a day. Yellow will take a couple weeks, and then red is going to take a month or longer. So you're able to go in and be able to color code it to however long you think that that idea or that task is going to take you. And then what I did after that is I actually organized it by what can get done in that time. So I drag that up and I'd be like, okay, idea number 1 and idea number 4, I'm gonna work on first because I can get that done faster. Then I'll move on to this one, and then I'll move on to this one. Or you can kind of take bits and pieces of that and then put it into your schedule to get started on working on it. Trust me, it's so much easier said than done because, again, this is just something that I struggle with a lot. But Notion has been pretty much the only thing that has actually worked for me. I know I've tried a bunch of different things. This has been one of the only things that actually works for me and that I actually stick with. So I wanted to let you know that I do actually have this exact template available for sale. I will leave it down in the description box below, as well as in probably a pinned comment of this video. In case you're somebody who is like me, who has more of that ADHD kind of brain and needs to have these specific things laid out in a certain way to make it easier for you to be able to actually, complete a task and have a to-do list of some kind and get your ideas out that you have really, fast in your head. Or if you're just somebody who has a handmade business, whether it's a candle business, soap business, whatever it is, and you need some sort of organizational planner that will help you with your daily to-dos and tasks and things that you need to get done and how to plan for your business so that you can be more successful in it. I really think that this template is kind of for everybody. So if you're interested, check it out down in the description box below and the pinned comment. But I think I'm going to end today's video right here. Again, I was so excited to share this because I've been posting a little bit about it on my Instagram, and I've had multiple people reach out wanting me to talk about this. And I just, it's like night and day compared to what I was doing before, which was just random notes in my phone and trying to get it together and figure it out, and then having breakdowns because I can't get it together and I can't figure it out. So I'm not going to say that this has absolutely stopped the overwhelm completely, because that's just not how my brain works. My brain works in its own unique ways of just getting overwhelmed with all the things that I have to do. But this has taken down the stress significantly, and it definitely takes motivation on my own part and changes in habits to really make it work and really pay attention to the little individual things that I need to do to make sure that I continue doing this. Because it's not like you just get this template and then all of a sudden you're like a planning, organizing master or whatever. Like, it doesn't mean that that's going to happen for you, but for me, it has increased my planning and organizing by a lot, which says a lot, again, for somebody like me. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave this video a big thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBoxCandleCo, and I will see you in my next video. It's a little farther away from the camera today.